Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, so with all that, let's go ahead and move on to the next guy. So, our number 2 legend. This guy looks so cool. Saint Ethan Baron v. Nusjuro. Godhead of finance of the 5 elders, the highest authority of the world. Man, this artwork goes crazy. Dude, look at that sprite though. What is this guy doing? This man, he's a real life centaur. That's crazy. All right. Let's move on. So he is a Psi unit. Interesting. I would have thought because of how fast this guy is that he would have been a quick unit, but no, he is going to be a Psi-driven slasher with final tap. Okay, please, Bandai, please. Do not screw up this final tap. You guys already know what it has to be. Surely not, right? Surely they don't screw up this final tap. Special ability, which is a 30-turn cooldown. 300 times attack and non-type damage to one enemy, ignoring all defensive effects and defense. That's actually kind of funny. Completely removes all enemies' defense up! Exclamation point! They don't really put exclamation points in specials like that. That's kind of weird. Completely removes defense up. Okay, so you got Saturn removing Rainbow Shield. You've got Jupiter removing Threshold. And you've got this guy removing defense up. Okay. If this special is activated when the captain is a 5 elders and a Psi-type character is set as a support on this character, you get Driven Territory. Okay. If the special is activated when the captain is a 5 elder, and if any other type is set as a support, applies set target status for 2 turns. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's really good. After that, boost this character's attack up to 5 times for 1 turn based on the total cost of the crew members at the start of the quest. So he gives himself an attack boost? Okay. Boost his character slot effect boost up to 5 times. Ooh. So he is like, nah, screw all you. Screw all the 5 elders. It's all about me. It's all about me. Give me that 5 times attack boost. Give me that 5 times orb boost. It's time to go. So essentially, you can make this guy... Oh, hang on. If he has a captain ability that can be super effective against all types as well, we might be onto something here. Hang on. Okay. Breaking down the special again. Damage dealing special. Defense removal completely. Territory. Set target status. Well, you get territory or set target status, depending on who's the support. And then... up to 5 times attack boost to himself, and then up to 5 times orb boost to himself. Okay. It's different for sure. I mean, I was expecting a color affinity boost, because we have orb boost with Jupiter. We have Saturn giving us attack boost. So I guess one of the other 5 elders in part 3 will probably be color affinity boost. Okay, so captain ability is Emerging Bakotsu. Bakotsu? Emerging Bakotsu. Psi-driven slasher, 6 times attack... 6.25 times for himself. Psi recovery and matching. Okay, I'm already seeing no cooldown. What's going on here? If this character is a captain and performs excellent... Oh, man, it's right there. Okay, so it's just for the 5 elders and stuff. Makes sense. If this character is a captain, you perform excellent, you boost the tags by 1.1. And then if you hit excellent, you get 1.3. If 4 or more elders, Celestial Dragon, or Navy are on the crew, reduces bind duration by 10 turns. Okay. The other guys didn't have that, right? Am I tripping? Oh, okay, so... Interesting. So this guy... So, because Saturn and Jupiter are super effective against all types. So they're saying instead of that, he gets utility. So he gets the... utility, bind removal by 10 turns. If the crew use a special to boost attack or slot effects, boost the effect by 0.5, stackable with other effects, that's strong. And then reduce cooldown for 5 elders and celestial dragons by 15. Okay, so yeah, definitely a different design for sure. So you got to use this guy a little bit differently. He is focused on himself. He does give you utility in the captain effect, but he is not super effective against all types. So the fact that he isn't super effective against all types, but then has all of these abilities that are like solely focused on himself, I think is a little strange. It is a little strange. Yeah, this effect here is like basically just saying the 5 times boost that he applies to himself will just become 5.5. Which is still really good because it doesn't count as like buffing this effect. So it becomes like a flat 5.5, then you can use Satin to like enhance it like majorly. Okay. Interesting. Crewmate ability. When remaining HP is 30% or below, he gets 400 attack. Driven base attack by 1.75. Driven size slots are matching. He doesn't have the other crewmate ability that, you know, to resist blow away and then also resist reverse and paralysis. So yeah, this guy is like completely different. Final tap. Okay. Don't screw me, man. At the final battle, on the turn when you activate the special, changes this character slot, including block and including super block, to psi and further boost the chain by 2.25. Oh, that is not the final tap that they needed. It's better than base attack, obviously. I know that like when you actually use this in practice, it is relatively good. Like I remember using Uta's final tap a lot back in the day, and it does give you a lot of damage, but it's nowhere near like those final taps where it's like adds 1x the damage of all of your driven characters, which would have been the perfect final tap Sugo special to use here. I don't think it's bad, but okay, let's see the EX Super. When the crew's attack boost or orb boost is 8x or more, or when the crew has the ability to overheal. Yeah, he doesn't actually give you the ability to overheal either. Okay, so you really just have to use this guy with someone else. Super driven, super psi, allows attack boost to be further increased up to 2 times, boost the chain by 1.2. There's no times or plus to this, so we don't know if it's addition or multiplicative. The fact that it's 1.2, it literally could be either. We'll have to wait and see on that one, unless if we can read from the image. No, it doesn't show it. Okay. No, both of these are Super Sugo-Fest exclusives. It doesn't mention, like, this character is a normal legend. Both of these are Super Sugos. Okay, honestly, I don't like this guy that much. I don't like his design. I mean, I do like the fact that he is different to Saturn and Jupiter, because they do need to be different. If they just had reskins of the same unit, it would be a little bland. So, I like it in one aspect that he is different, but I'm not a big fan of the design, because you really have to... I mean, obviously, you have to use them all together anyway. We get that. You have to use them all together. But I don't see myself going out of my way to use this guy as the captain, unless if I specifically need this bind removal. Actually, wait, one thing I wanted to check real quick. Does this guy's EX Super... Can you use it as a sub? No, you need to use it as a captain. Can you use this guy's one as a sub? You can. Okay, that actually changes things. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because I'm like, why would you use this guy as a captain? The other captains just seem better in my opinion, and yeah, I mean, that shows it. Okay, that does make a lot of sense. Yoshi Evil, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for 63 months. What's good, man? We're reading these new characters, man. Yeah, he gives the set target status, which is massive. Like, set target status is one of the best buffs you can apply for increasing your damage, because it goes through immunity. It's just free damage. But the fact that his attack and orb boost is only for himself, but then he also has the ability to give set target status, which it just kind of conflicts, because I feel like this ability to give himself attack and orb boost, you would want to use on like a mini boss stage, but the fact that there's set target status, you would want to use that on the final stage. And there's no way to like double special this guy. So, it's weird. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to wait and see how that actually works, because if you have like, let's say one captain is Saturn, one captain is Jupiter, if you already have a withstanding attack and orb boost, and you activate this special ability, which gives himself an attack and orb boost, do these just get applied to your withstanding attack and orb boosts? Because if that is the case, that makes a ton of sense, because that would allow you to just buff both buffs immediately at the same time on top of getting set target status. That does make sense. Yeah. So This guy is he's like more of like a supporter role on the team, giving you some very interesting buffs. Yeah, that would make sense. You get Saturn's attack boost, you get Jupiter's orb boost, you then activate this guy's special ability, and his solo attack and orb boost are essentially there just to buff the other attack and orb boosts. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. That does make sense as to why he is the only one of the 5 elders we've seen so far that has the ability to use the EX Super as a crewmate, because they want you to use him as a crewmate. That's the design philosophy behind him. I would like to see whether this is chain addition or chain multiplicative. Hard to say. One thing that I can kind of, my guess moving forward for the other 5 elders, one of them's going to be color affinity focused. One of them probably chain focused. Maybe like huge chain boundary, tap timing chain, all that stuff. That would be my guess. Maybe conditional boost, because we haven't seen the conditional boosts one yet. That'd be interesting. Imagine if there was imagine if one of the 5 elders can give you double stacking conditional boosts with both conditions and both conditional boosts simultaneously. That would be cracked. That'd be so sick. Anyways, let's continue on. His support effect says if you use the special ability that he attaches to, remove defense up by 6. Obviously very, very good. Rumble special. So he's Psi Slasher driven. Let's see. All enemies for a 20% health cut, 34 CT. Wait, what is he considered in Rumble? He is an attack style unit in Rumble. Okay. Gotta have that context. So 20% health cut, target enemies in a large range for 3,000 fixed damage. When 5 or more slashers are on the team, or when 5 or more elders are on the team, all enemies 100% chance to apply paralysis. Lame. Terrible. When 5 or... Well, actually, this could be good in, in Assault Rumble, maybe, but eh. When 5 or more slashers are on the team, or when 5 or more elders are on the team, target 3 high attack enemies for 4 times damage. Target 2 high defense enemies, ignoring defense 1.3. That is very good. Targets Navy and World Government for 6 attack and 6 defense. Yeah, this ability is very strong. This ability is crazy. The fact that he does the health cut and the fixed damage, and then he goes ahead and gives you huge damage, and then more damage through defense. That's crazy. Alright, let's see. Grand Party Burst Skill. Defeat 5 enemies. Okay, so you're... Okay, that's interesting. Target all enemies for a 30% health cut, 6k damage, 3 high attack enemies for 4.5 damage, 2 high defense enemies for 2 times damage, ignoring defense. I mean, that's... Going against this is going to be kind of gross. But then again, the condition is the enemy has to... You have to defeat 5 enemies, right? So if you're going against this, if you just don't die, they can't use their burst skill. But if you start getting knocked out, it kind of can snowball, and you're just going to lose. So if you're going against this guy in Grand Party, just don't die, and then you don't have to worry about it. Easy, right? And then Leader Skill gives Psi and 5 Elders, blah, blah, blah. Slasher and Driven, blah, blah, blah. Navy and World Government, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So on initial read-through, I was pretty disappointed in this guy, but again, with the context of all of the other units together, this guy makes sense. We'll have to wait and see again what Part 3 brings in terms of how they're going to design those guys, because they may go down the same route of this guy, where the other 2 remaining guys are going to be solely like supporter role characters. And what they are building towards is having Saturn and this guy being the leaders of the team in some capacity. And then you've got these guys here, which can be support role characters to provide other buffs. So yeah, 1 out of 10 guys, how would you rank this guy? I think, with the context of everything, I think this guy's probably an 8, honestly. He's pretty strong. But if you're just using him by himself, he's actually really bad. He's actually really bad. Wait, there was a blitz announced? They announced a blitz? So, we have this. Assault Rumble starting then. Blitz battle is going to be October 3rd to 5th. Grand Party. Ugh, why do they do this? Grand Party is the same day as Blitz? That's so lame. A Super Rumble. Treasure map. So there's a bit of a gap here, bit of a gap here. So my guess is Part 3 is probably for the next treasure map. That would make sense, which means the Sugo-Fest is probably around here. So probably it could be 11th or 12th. 11th or 12th is probably when part 3 is going to be, which means the reveal's probably going to be here-ish. That would make sense. But anyways, yeah, very, very interesting batch. These units are obviously going to be very, very strong together. And, I mean, look, they made it in such a way where you kind of really want to get all of these characters together because they just work amazingly together. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of work out. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for me for this YouTube video. So shout out to the YouTube guys for watching. Thank you very much, Twitch people, for joining me on this little reveal quest. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.